Hello. Okay, this is a totally impromptu video recording session because I had no intention, not a thought about doing this. Haven't been thinking about making videos. Totally fell off the edge of the video making world. The vlogging, edge of the vlogging world. This is my literal backyard. Well, not literal because it's not my backyard, but this is close enough. This is a 10-minute place, 10-minute drive from my home, and I get to come out and walk in these hills. I feel like I'm in Scotland or on another planet, and I get a lot of healing conversations with God and myself done out here. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about, there is actually something that kind of is of interest. I've been discovered this guy on YouTube whose name is Cash Peters, and he's around my age. He's an Englishman. I've only been listening to him for about a month, maybe 6 weeks or so, and every new thing I find, he's got a bunch of old stuff that he's done. I'm just diving into his catalog of videos. Every new thing I watch of his gives me more and more enlightenment about spirituality and life and God and purpose and what the world is all about. And so he has this series. Cash Peters is an empath. He's a healer. He's a psychic empath. But he does something that I've never seen any other empath do before. And I don't know where he's learned this, except that he figured out that it's what he can do. He channels information and gets visual pictures. And I have a facility for that because there's been times when I've been in channeling trances where I see a picture. So I might really be able to learn something from this guy. But the pictures he sees are loaded with information, and he just has to be quiet and sit and let the information rise up so he can verbalize it. And then he makes a video talking about what he found out. Okay, so one of his main things he does is he looks at the death of people and the transition the soul of that person makes when they leave their physical body, when they leave the life they just lived, and a transition to the other side. And he's got a great storytelling capability and captivating. He's just captivating with these stories. But he pretty much just does celebrities. These are people that are well known. Two that he did that I watched recently that really struck me. Well, I'm going to say three. One was Carlos Castaneda. Fascinating story. Another was Jimi Hendrix. Absolutely fascinating. Both of those stories gave me a mirror of my own reality that I'm in just really deep contemplation about right now. And I mean, soul stirring. I was actually shaking and moved to tears while contemplating what these great men went through when they died. And the third one that I just watched a couple of hours ago is Adolf Hitler. There's some fascinating high-level information that channelers are finding out about Adolf Hitler right now. And what he came to this planet to do, if he didn't do it, some other soul was going to have to do it. And he kind of like, when in the soul selection, in the life selection process that all the souls go through before they incarnate on Earth, this proposition was laid out before him. They said, we need somebody to bite the bullet and go in and do what this person needs to do. And he was like, okay, I feel like I'm the one, and he did it. The other thing that he pointed out is that in the afterlife, in heaven or whatever, It's not about justice. It's about balancing energies. There's another way he phrases it. So it wasn't like, he doesn't, there's no hell. No matter what you did, you're not going to go to hell. But you have to process the things you did. You have to contemplate. You have to go through a healing. Your soul does. And then beyond that, there's our higher self. And our higher self could have been many people. So, Adolf Hitler could have been, well, probably was, many other people before he became that person. But it's his soul, this soul, which is a fragment of God that we all are. These lives that we live are not our complete, full identity. So anyway, listening to these explanations of what he sees about how we transfer over, what you go through when you leave your body, when you see there's tunnels, there's a light. People have resistance, or they get there and they don't know what to do. And anyway, it's got me, this is something I've been thinking about for a couple of months now. I don't know why I'm still alive. I don't know what it is I'm still supposed to do. And I feel, I'm not like sick of life, because look at this. This redeems me, getting out here like this. But I am kind of tired. I'm kind of tired. I'm like 66 years old, and it's like, what am I going to do if I live another 10 or 20 years? I'm out of ideas. I don't have any dreams. I don't have any link yet to magic that makes me feel like if I came up with a dream, an idea, something to do, that I could do it. I'm just at a really big lull in my story right now. And, the defeat I've experienced due to depressive thinking and not being able to live a life as good or as rich or accomplished as other people live. I want to keep going uphill. I want to keep having better. I want my life to get better and have better experiences. But at the same time, maybe what the next 20 years could lead to disaster, and I'm going to end up like homeless or something. There's just so many possibilities, and if God were to ask for a volunteer today and say, okay, who's ready to come on over? I would be like, okay, let's do it. Because I feel like there's so much I can do from the other side. I feel like there's so much I can do, more I can do to help people from the other side than I'm able to do from this side. Yeah. Okay, gonna stop there. Thanks, bye. Okay, just a real quick addendum to what I was talking about. Both Jimmy and Carlos, when they got to the point where they were no longer their soul was no longer in their bodies, and they're making the transition to the light, they both reacted. This is according to what Cash Peters saw in his empathic reading. They were like, my life was so good. I'm not ready. I don't want to go. They both loved their lives. And what Cash saw from the higher perspective was that this was the contract that these guys agreed to. They agreed that they would live just as long as they did, and that when the time came, that was it. You got to go. And Jimmy was like, oh man, I wish I could stay. Things were just getting good. And same with Carlos. Carlos had more years. Carlos was like 50 when he died. But my reflection is I've got such a different experience. I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing to even go into these thoughts and feelings and ideas. I mean, it's not like I'm not grateful for all I have done, but I feel like I've done so little. I've impacted so few lives. And I'm not bored necessarily, but I just don't feel inspired about anything new to do. But I've got a contract. I've got a contract that I said, okay, you either need to complete the things you set out to do, or you got to live till whatever the time limit was. And I think people that commit suicide, they're trying to break that contract. And I think that's a really hard thing. It takes a lot of work to fix. I think there's a lot of regret that those people have, that they couldn't hold on and stick things out. And that's, I mean, I'm not suicidal. I've been suicidal in my life before, and I know what that feels like. I'm nowhere near that. I'm not even depressed right now, but I'm kind of bored. And kind of tired of being on my own so much. I mean, I love my solitude, but it's so fun to have somebody to do things with. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Bye.